Okay, so I'm going to try to do a bunch of these in 30-second increments because I feel like being shorter and more succinct is the best way to go. In the interest of acta non verba, or a Latin phrase which means actions not words, I am working on the next state of the project. A week of living for myself, a week of living Bethishly, with hopefully no shame, and just being. And today is May 7th, it's a Thursday, and by next Thursday, I hope to be able to say, I did this, and I feel better. This thing made me feel worse, so that's not going to be done. And anyway, Mother's Day is coming, and that's a really tough day for me, and this is already over 30 seconds, which I didn't want, but okay. So that's what I'm working on right now. A new goal, a new thing, and acting, not speaking, except to say, hi, how are you? And I care, and I hope you're happy, I hope you're joyful, etc., etc. So here goes, knock on wood. Okay, so I'm setting a timer for 35 seconds. And I'm going to try to talk as quickly as possible without being... Okay, so today is the 8th. This is day 2. And this is going to be a compilation, so sit back. Okay, so fighting. What is worth fighting for? Well, I mean, besides family, your liberty, your peace of mind, not going completely crackers like I did, fighting off things like people who might, yeah, fighting off people who aren't good for you, and fighting not to become that person. And fighting, of course, to ensure that you don't hurt yourself. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm questioning, when is a fight necessary? When is it actually a good thing? And when do you stop playing peacemaker and get cracking? So, I don't know, but I guess I'm going to have to puzzle this out, and it's going to be done on my feet. Anyway, you're loved, and take good care. Okay, today is May 9th. It's rather early in the morning, but I fell asleep rather early, so, and I want to get this off my chest and get it done. So today I'm working off notes I made regarding apologies and nervous tics. A lot of people with neurological symptoms, not just people with Tourette syndrome, have a nervous tic or 2 or 3 or whatever, and it can be tough. One of my personal nervous tics is apologizing. And I'm going to try to go through this without a single apology. Anyway, so here we go. Maybe I should have begun. Sorry for the voice. Yeah, no. You're so funny. Maybe I should have begun here with the apologies. And it's a verbal tic for me that I have tried giving up for Lent twice. This year I decided to go and try to give up swearing, which, yeah, no, I still have a bit of a potty mouth. One piece of advice I received at one point from a friend of mine was, if you step on someone's foot, if you have actually emotionally hurt a person, which sucks ass, say the words, oh, I'm sorry for that, and here is what I'm sorry for. not because of other people's crap or because you're trying to get out of an argument, and so on and so forth. My friend Celeste told me, whoops, names are meant to be edited out to protect the innocent. And it was, why not think of it in another language? And then gave me the Polish word for I'm sorry, because I am attempting to learn Polish anyway. And so this could come in handy, but basically trick your brain into using this other word, but don't think about the meaning, and maybe go from there. So good luck, and I think tomorrow I will try to talk more about how I've dealt with certain other things and how I've dealt with victories in things that I was trying to handle, including when I was going month by month on being seizure free, and what I did to reward myself, and so on and so forth. So you're loved, take good care, and I'm not sorry. Hi everyone, today's May 9th. Nope, sorry. May 10th, 2020, and it's day 4 of my next plan. I'm going to try to make this short, which I'm having trouble with lately, but here we go. Yesterday, it was all about the coping mechanisms. As for today, getting out of myself, working on being around humans, although socially distanced, without being panicky. Trying to be there without stressing myself out. Understanding that someone is going through a situation I've been through, and not really knowing how to not become their mom by accident. Well, anyway, today's Mother's Day, and speaking of coping mechanisms, I am trying to get out of my own head because, yikes, it's dark in there. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I found out possibly the worst coping mechanism ever, which, if you're dealing with grief and you're dealing with Mother's Day, maybe watching a Joan Crawford film isn't such a great idea, but I always did have weird coping mechanisms. Yikes. Anyway, also Mildred Pierce. Eep. Anyway, be blessed, have a blessed day, love yourselves, actually give yourself that time. I know that I can't speak from experience here, but I am trying to do it along with you. And yeah. I'm gonna dig myself out, get to my feet, and keep on moving, and work on not getting stuck again. Learn how to speak when I'm feeling kind of funky, so that it doesn't become a huge brouhaha, and learn how to just be. And distract myself if I can't. Yeah, you're loved, and happy Mother's Day. Be blessed. Good night. Afternoon. Day 5, May 11th, 2019. Oh, sorry, 2020. Anyway, over the past few days, I've been hoping that I'm informative, and that if you get some good advice, that you can take it, and that it's safe and responsible. I'm still working on getting out of my own head. Getting inside yourself and getting stuck is very easy to do, especially when you're dealing with social isolation and fear of illness and perhaps grief and anxiety from the past, and it can be so easy to smack yourself around. But I guess my best advice is pull out of yourself if you can. go look for something. And it's okay to cry, and it's okay to be upset. But also, digging out, which is exactly what I'm doing right now, and it's going to be a pretty long dig. I would definitely say find things that you enjoy. Do something to entertain yourself. I don't want to be like my mother, who, when you say, I'm having trouble sleeping, will suddenly tell you all the things that you've already been doing to try to solve that problem, because, bless her heart, I know she probably wants to help, but it comes out as you can't do this or you're doing something wrong, which is something I'm perpetually terrified of. And that's another thing that I'm working on, is quit worrying and just do. Life is life, and you're gonna piss people off here and there, but you can't always be afraid that you caused a road accident because you did this, or that you caused this problem, or that everyone in the world is pissed off at you. And if you have people in your life who tell you things like, oh, well, you're at fault for this, for example, the Titanic sinking, or apples not being the right shape, or the sky being too blue, it's okay to tell them off, even though it may very well anger them. It's also okay to walk away, and that's what I'm trying to learn right now. So we're all in this together. But the more you stay inside your own head, the harder and harder it is to try to dig yourself out. And it can't help with symptoms. Remember, stress being a big, big, big trigger for epileptic symptoms. But, stress is also unavoidable. So work on the things that keep you from stressing out. Give yourself love. Comfort yourself. Find things that you enjoy. And do try to get some rest. And if you're having trouble, make sure that you call your doctor immediately. Love you. Take care. When you've had it up to here with yourself, chasing your own tail and slapping yourself around, well, if you're like me, you give yourself even more hell because you aren't acting like yourself and you feel like a complete horse's ass. And it seems like being a dickhead seems to run in my family, or at least pace in my family, or at least it feels that way, because I blame myself for a lot of things, and I've had a lot of negative examples who have made me feel sorry for simply being, but that's not okay. But it's time for me to simply be, to enjoy, to get out there, whatever. So what do you do? Well, I would suggest maybe starting out with something like a movie. Distract yourself. Socially distance with friends, but at least talk with them and look them directly in the eyeball, which helps out a lot. You almost feel normal, except for everyone's really, really far away. But I have discovered that staying in your own head, the longer you stay in, the harder it is to dig out. So I am in a digging out stage. I'm in a stage where I need to find projects. I'm in a stage where I need to give myself patience, but I don't know how. But I'm trying. I should really be careful with my movie viewing habits, because Mildred Pierce on Mother's Day was a particularly shit idea with everything else I'm going through. Friday, I'm baking a cake for the child I lost. I'm gonna do my best to enjoy it and not season it with tears. I'm gonna do my best to be stronger about it, and not, I know the nightmares are foul and they don't really help when you're stuck inside your own head. Also, nightmares. Nightmares seem to be my nightmares got worse after I had my head injury and started having seizures. I'm not sure it's that way with everyone, but I'm trying to figure out what to do with those other than, hey, it's the morning and the night may bring tears, but joy cometh in the morning, and let me find joy. Do things to hopefully cut down on scary references that might stick in my head. try not to blame myself for things that I can't control. So that's what I'm up to at the moment. It's digging out. It's going to take a lot longer than a week, but I am trying to also live for myself, try to show some confidence because it was kind of smacked out of me for many years. But try to find it. If I'm happy, let me show it joyously. If I'm sad, let me show it without fear. If I'm angry, please God, just let me be angry and let it be fast. Not cold and slow, because that doesn't really help anything. And not bottling up emotions. That's a really good thing not to do. Don't bottle up. Because when you explode, it's going to be fantastically horrible. It's like Diet Coke with Mentos, just all over you. Although that might be something some people like. Not my cup of tea, but, hey, if you enjoy it and everyone is happy, who am I to judge? And maybe try to be a little more clear, straight, and concise with people, which might cut down on some issues. And try to handle humanity. I didn't really have the most normal upbringing, so sometimes what other people consider the norm is completely alien to me, and it feels like, it doesn't really feel like I fit in very well, and it's awkward and it's weird, but I'm trying. But at the same time, I have to go in small increments. I also have to learn to say, I'm uncomfortable with blank. However, why, or even just, I'm uncomfortable with blank. Plain, simple, easy, end of sentence. There are times when you might suggest something that isn't so uncomfortable, or just let yourself take, don't be afraid to say, here is the line, do not cross that line. And above all, do your best to get your rest, eat well as often as possible, and treat yourself here and there. And if you've had a bad time, face it, but don't try to face it alone. There are some waters that cannot be navigated solo. Know who to talk to. If you need it, get a counselor. Make sure you call your doctor if you're having trouble with sleep and you're also feeling depression or anxiety. And above all, if it hurts, it's time to do something, and you really have to make that call and say, I'm done, this hurts, and I'm not handling this by myself. So first things first, I talk with my doctor and I do my best to feel better. And it's always difficult feeling like you need to talk to a counselor, but maybe it shouldn't be. Actually, it just shouldn't be. And so fight for yourself, advocate for yourself, and also find yourself a trusted advocate for if you can't speak for yourself. But above all, learn to speak for yourself. And I'm trying that too. When to say no, when I want something, when I don't want something someone suggested. And not bottling up, which leads to a lot of confusion. And hey, my pain's a lot better. I did get a bruise from putting on jeans yesterday, even though they were loose, but life. And the headaches are a lot less, and I'm not terrified that I'm going to fall as much. So things aren't looking up. I'm getting better, but I've got a long way to go. Anyway, you're loved, and take very good care of yourselves. Good night. Morning. Good morning. This is day 6, and today it's all about rest. Yeah, I'm afraid I am the last person who should be discussing relaxation. But here I am, and here you are. And if you're going to leave in a huff right now, you're loved. Bye-bye. Come on back. Come on back. But, no, it is the hardest thing in the world for me. Letting myself be myself, letting myself rest. And that's just life. And you hear people talking about it like it's the easiest thing in the world, and you kind of want to, let me find the phrase, because I don't want to get myself in trouble or be confusing. You might want to ever so gently give them the V8 smack and say, if it's so easy, why don't you show me? And then give the matching one to yourself. Anyway, so relaxation. How am I doing with that? Simple answer, not so great. But there's things I'm trying to work with. Take what hurt you to help you. Find stimuli that is actually joyful. If my body is going to react to stimuli, it might as well be joyful stimuli. Leaving that behind, playing a bit of a scavenger hunt with myself. It's been cold, it's been snowing, and the flowering trees definitely have an interesting pattern, but maybe looking across to a nearby restaurant that has a flowering apple tree and looking at the flowers, avoiding the things in the mid-ground for the time being. This is where having a 1,000-yard stare sometimes can come in handy. Also, one eye that is farsighted, because I'm weird. The other one, of course, is only really good for close-up work. Learning to enjoy just resting and knowing when to say no when you need to, because, well, sometimes you gotta, and that's okay. Although it is complicated. Trying to simplify me, and I'm having trouble with the simplicity right now, but I'm trying to enjoy it. So, in conclusion, except for tomorrow, how am I doing on the resting front? Not so great. But I'm working on it, and I found a few things that I'm actually trying out as part of the experiment to help myself out. Take good care, and I will be back tomorrow. Love you. Hi, it's me again. This was and is meant to be a week-long project on living for me and trying to live with me, so to speak. Because I'm not the most restful person on the face of the planet, and I am fighting through a lot, including guilt, because, well, there's some things that I find unacceptable that I did. But, so I'm going to pop in make the compilation today and edit this beast and get that out, and I'll give timestamps so that you can skip to whatever you need. But, okay, mostly, yeah, try to give yourself what you would want for other people. Don't try to navigate certain waters alone, like grief or pain. Know when to say no. You can't always help everyone, and even in a time of isolation, which we are still in, you need people, and you don't stay in your own head too long, because if you stay in your head for too long, then you find yourself having a harder and harder time getting out. And I've been in a funk since at least November, and I'm having trouble being understood. I've been confusing, but I am trying. And the week of living Bethishly, it's gonna end on I'm tired. I am flipping exhausted, but I'm trying. New medications always put you through things, so I've got the acute and I've got the chronic stuff going on. Unfortunately, not the kind of chronic that some people find fun. Anyway, so to sign off and get this beast edited, know that you're loved. Don't try to navigate certain waters alone. And yeah, give yourself that time. Look at the birds, look at the flowers, find yourself a bird book and record maybe. Maybe not binoculars, because the neighbors might think you're a bit of a peeper. And so I don't want binoculars. But anyway, take a look at the animals, take a look at the flowers, even though it's cold and ugh. And maybe remember when to ask for help. Try to work on things, and as for me, try to be patient, but hope that you can explain later on that you really sowed confusion and you hurt. And try though to give yourself time when you're feeling grief, and love yourself. Take good care.